Yeah, because I've been sitting on this for a minute. We just haven't had a chance to record. But
Yeah.
here we are.
Okay. Whenever you want.
I'm Tanisha Arena, and you're listening to Unapologetic. So here we are at the end of the year, and we are in the madness of the end of the year and the holidays. And oh, by the way, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. So don't let anybody tell you that we're post-COVID. We're just post the period where our government cares about COVID and what's going on. But I ain't want to gossip, or maybe I am. So you did actually hear that from me. If you are able to get vaccinated, please do so, because Delta and Omicron, they're not discriminating. And that's just one piece, right? And then the second thing, which I should have started with, like, America, ain't you got no home training? We back to this again, right? I happened to be on social media and I saw this thing that said that Iran is thinking about posing sanctions against the United States for its treatment of Black people. And I said, ooh, this is getting good. And there's an excitement to this for me as a Black person. Like, yeah, who checks us when we dare show up in all these other places and spaces to talk about human rights violations? And don't we got some violations right here at home? I think we do. And then it occurred to me, what would happen if all of the countries that we do business with, that really have us at their mercy, if we're honest, because we import all kinds of things, what if they levied sanctions and embargoes against us? How quickly would things change if they said, you know what? We're not going to import anything to you. You can't have avocados, you can't have cars, you can't have TVs, you can't have any of the things that you've outsourced to us in the name of cheap labor. Because that's how your capitalism works. And we will get these things done. We will resume operations with you when you pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, when you pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, when you pass universal health care, when you address the disparities in your country, then we will do business with you. In the same way that we levy economic sanctions against the S-hole countries so that they'll act right. But here we are as an S-hole country not acting right, because if you look at the problems that we have with homelessness, inadequate healthcare, all the disparities that show up, the United States is a third world country. Everybody just has iPhones and flat screen TVs. At me, I said what I said. And this last thing, right? Because home training. Kim Potter is on trial right now for the murder of Dante Wright, because taser. But then she did what the white ladies do, and she started with her tears. No. White women cry and Black people wind up dead. Emmett Till. And Carolyn Bryant's still alive. She's still alive. Why can't she be charged and brought to justice? Because you lie, you cry. And Dante Wright, his mom, she cried. How come Black women tears don't seem to matter like white women tears? America, ain't you got no home training? Don't you know how to act? Can't you act like you know how to act? Act like you got some sense? And that looks like getting it together in this place that we live in before we go out and tell other people how to live. That's our responsibility. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People don't have what they need. There are moratoriums that have ended. Folks are facing homelessness. The economic disparities are ridiculous, and people are dying. And we can't get universal health care. We have representatives that don't represent us. Joe Manchin is in West Virginia and feels like dental coverage costs too much for Medicare and Medicaid, but 35% of his constituents don't have their natural teeth. Climate change can make you homeless. Ask the people in Kentucky. But then Rand Paul, when other folks needed help, said, no, the deficit, and we owe too much money. We can't. But them tables will turn. And now he's the one asking for money for his constituents who need to rebuild. And they can't even go knocking door to door because there are no doors. Climate change can make you homeless. What are we doing about these things here where we stay? What's our home training? Those are the things that we need to think about. And all of us need to band together against the common enemy of white supremacy and racism, because it hurts everyone and everything, and it doesn't discriminate. Even white folks are harmed by white supremacy and racism. And it looks like voting against your own self-interest in order to protect whiteness when you have no place to live and no teeth in your mouth, and a government that is not supporting any of us during a global pandemic. America, ain't you got no home training?